Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. And you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering The Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 7, episode 15. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. We'll be discussing a little bit about the show. Not a lot was happening. I wasn't per se bored, but it feels like Bravo is stretching out the show as far as the series goes. But anyways, please like this video in support of me, and you can subscribe if you're new and leave your comments below. Now let's get into it. Okay, I think I need to start making some reservations because that cruise looks very good. Very, 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 very good. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Just very luxurious. One thing about Miami that we're not getting on, I think, two top shows. If you want to have eye candy as far as imagery and the luxury, I really think Miami and Salt Lake City. Beverly Hills somewhat, but Beverly Hills seems to have kind of got comfortable, and they don't really do too much, in my opinion, as far as giving us this luxury and all of this stuff. They just go to Mexico and then go someplace else for another trip. Even a lot of the scenery stuff, I guess I'm not impressed that much anymore about it, but hey, that's just me. Maybe I'll have other opinions, and you can let me know. What did they do? Did they dress all in red yet? No, not yet. And I just watched the show. I'm sorry, but there wasn't much going on, as I said before. But we could talk about Lisa and Larsa. They finally meet up. Honestly, I don't understand the resolve. However, they're at a place where they are going to make amends and just be friends again. It's cool. Actually, I was really shocked that it went longer than what it has gone, because this is kind of Lisa and Larsa's MO. They fight for a few episodes and then they make up. But this one carried out through many more episodes. So I don't know if this is going to last, only because I see how Lisa is on Twitter. I don't know what's happened since filming has stopped. I don't know what happened at the reunion. I'm still trying to figure out, because Gertie and a few other people did advertise that something that was gagadocious happened. So, and we don't know whom. She said it wasn't with me, da 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 da. What exactly was happening? So somebody, the cast is gagged at what happened. I don't know if it's between them or not, but hopefully so. At least I'm counting on them to be okay. It just seems like it's been moving a little bit different as far as Lisa and Larsa. Cool. Even though I didn't really hear them tell each other I'm sorry. It was just more like, let's not fight anymore. Let's not fight. You know, I love you. I love you. But okay. Okay, it just from both of them. So, but whatever, we're moving on, because there's nothing left. There's nothing left on this bone. So you've eaten all the meat off of it. Let's go. They did this 80s theme aerobics class. Gertie looked good. She got those old styles back in the 80s. Yes, I was living in the 80s, but I was not in the know of what was going on. Just to let you know, I was young in the 80s. But I'm trying to, one of those old cuts that you got in the 80s, you know, probably a little bit shorter on this side and longer on the other side. That's what she was. They went to the spa, so luxurious, so beautiful. Did mud baths. Gertie went into some 50 below degree, or not below degrees, but at 50 degrees weather. I did hear, you know, putting yourself in like cold water helps with the joints, and then also other things as far as getting your body together, even though she don't need to. Then they had an all red party, and this is for Adriana. Someone ended up putting her age on a birthday cake, and it ruined her whole mood, even though she was already in a mood, I think, the prior thing that they went to. Oh, I was like, Lord. Now, how in the world y'all gonna get male strippers? Because Julie was like, well, why are y'all coming up with this? Now, I do have a gripe. Y'all say that y'all want to celebrate Adriana, like the day of or the day before. Now you're coming up with things. Now maybe you were doing it for camera purposes and what the show needed, like, ooh, let's plan something, but y'all weren't thinking about that. And you know Marisol ain't doing nothing for Adriana's birthday, since this was her trip. But of course the show is making it happen. So it just seems very last minute. Julia, look, I'm gonna say this too. This is my only other gripe. I may be wrong, and I can apologize. Have y'all been noticing Julia's hairstyles these last few episodes? Since when did she get braids? Or any type of form of braids? Like, okay, does it feel a little appropriation? Maybe I'm going too far. Y'all can correct me and I'll receive it. But I'm just like, when did you start putting braids in your hair, girl? We've never seen you do that. I mean, y'all called out Larsa a couple years ago, seasons ago, when she wore braids to one of their vacations. I don't know about that. I don't know about that style. You get some black children and now you the culture. Okay. All right, so the trip is over. We are back in Miami. Stephanie meets with Adriana because they're having their Christmas party. She's having her Christmas party, Stephanie is. And Adriana is going to be entertainment. And Stephanie was noticing a difference in Adriana, like she comes alive when she's talking about her music and all that. And just in a different space. I mean, Adriana was looking good too with her outfit that she had on. Oh, beforehand, there's something I missed. Stephanie and Alexia, they talked while they're on the cruise. This was during the spa day. And it looks like they came to terms. A lot of people have been saying this already. Stephanie and Alexia are two of the same. And they were able to hear each other out heart to heart, da-da-da-da-da. Alexia ended up crying in regards to her sister. She hasn't been speaking with her for about 2 years since her mother passed. Her mother was the glue. Look, all I can say is that when the matriarch and the patriarch passes away, a lot of these connections, they do go away. That's just it. Some people just hanging around, fake of the funk, just to be, just to make mama and dad or granny and grandpa happy. So, Alexia says, it wasn't more about me. She did say, okay, you're bossy. However, I more stayed because of Marisol. She was being more vocal about it, da-da-da-da-da. And what Marisol's problem is that she did not like that you went out to dinner or went out to eat with Adriana. And Stephanie's like, and for me too, what does that have to do with anything? You know that she's a part of the group. She's new, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you are trying to push people's hands on what they need to do. I mean, y'all keep letting it be known that there's a hierarchy and people got to fall in line and do what you want them to do. And I don't think that that's fair at all, y'all. And I'm talking to the bros. Y'all both been doing that. And that's why Julia's all up in your back end area. So it's just like, okay, Adriana gets on my nerves too. But quit trying to, that this is a group, this is a show, and people got to film, and this has to be realistic as at least if a new person comes in, just to see where they fall in line on making friendships. You don't even know how close they'll get, how not, but they still got to get along. That's crazy. We move on to Gertie. Gertie ends up going to therapy. On the cruise, she was talking with Adriana. Russell has set up some therapy. She said that it wasn't her idea, it was his idea, da-da-da-da-da. However, we're going to therapy. They went to couples therapy. However, it was suggested that she would have her individual counseling also. So she's doing that. There's a lot of traumatic things that she has not wanted to face and also confront with other people about. And we get into a little bit of her backstory. And Bravo and the production company, purveyors of pop. Y'all waited this long to start getting into Gertie's backstory? I mean, this may win over people that may want her to be around a whole lot more. It's cool that you're letting Kiki have her own storyline to tell her backstory, because I've been really trying to figure out why she's here, and people are like, give her a mojito, and this is before this season. I was like, what? Why? All she does is party with the girls and talk about sex in her confessions. She adds nothing. But anyways, this is my last gripe. I'm sorry, y'all. But anyways, she gets into when she moved from Haiti to America. Her parents brought her over here, dropped her off with some people who were supposedly her family. I think she said for 3 months or so. She didn't know these people, blah, 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 blah. They had to wait for paperwork and all that good stuff. She gets into school, and then she's bullied. She used to go by her middle name, Alicia. I think that's what she said her middle name was, but they made fun of her so bad. It was bad. She has a lot of resentment from that time, a lot for her parents. She doesn't even want to confront them about it. And I think as what Kiki has been experiencing, even though she's talking with her dad, he's really not wanting to take accountability for what he did to his daughter. And I'm sure if she talks to her parents, Bernie, they're going to say, we were doing the right thing. We wanted to give you a better life. You need to come over to America. Yes, thank you. But it sounds like, to me, she was just ripped out of Haiti, not really prepared for what was going to go forward. It was just, do what I tell you to do type of thing, so that you can stay over here in America and have a better life. And people would say, just look on the brighter side. If you did make something out of yourself, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But you don't know what people deal with on a daily basis to even try to cope to get to this place. So I think that trauma needs to be discussed way more in the Black community. Way more. And I'm just sick of parents just thinking, I did the best I could. I did this for your betterment, da-da-da-da-da-da. But you've hurt people on the inside, and they've been dealing with wounds that you won't even confront because you think that you did the best and you handled it the way that you thought was best, and you really hurt people. So hey, Alexia and Marisol, they meet up and they bring over our dude Frankie. They have dinner with Steve and all that. Looks like Steve can cook. Marisol doesn't look like a cook. No, she looks like an orderer. Or maybe she does, but at this point in life, I don't think that she's doing too much of anything excessively domestically. I think she'll do what she has to call herself a wife. Frankie's really putting her on Marisol on the spot. You drinking too much, you're drunk, da-da-da-da-da. And Marisol was like, well, I didn't really drink any. Now, we know when some people are getting a glass of water in the morning, you are getting a glass of something else. So anyways, they talk a little bit about Peter. We didn't see Peter. Well, I can't say that because I skipped a bunch of episodes. But they wanted to talk how he's feeling in regards to this whole Todd situation. Because it looks like Todd is coming back around and Alexia is allowing it to happen. And of course, Marisol is still not really with it at this point. But Alexia doesn't know how Peter's going to really feel because Peter doesn't really say too much. I think Peter's going to be reactive if Todd comes back around and he's around. And Peter gets in his vicinity. You know, I would think so because you don't do my mom like that. That's how I feel. But that was the episode, y'all. You know, again, not a lot was happening. For whatever reason, maybe I'm just kind of biased with this show. I wasn't mad at it. I've seen worse. Let's just say that much. But I was loving them just enjoying the vacation instead of trying to stir up drama. That's crazy to me. Enjoy the trip and do what you need to do. I'm cool with that sometimes, you know. However, I do think that Bravo is stretching out these episodes, and actually shocked that they're getting these many episodes. Really shocked. Because Miami doesn't get this. Like, by now, it should have been the finale. And we're on to the reunion. I think we have like 2 more episodes left. And then the reunion starts. Probably going to be a 3-parter. We'll see. But that's all I do have, y'all. Y'all let me know what you thought of this episode. What you thought about Birdie and all the stuff that she's going through. You think that this Lisa and Larsa thing going to last? Y'all let me know. And until, like, subscribe, and comment. And until the next one, peace.